Activity-style books are some of the most profitable types of books you can make on Amazon KDP. This book you can see on screen is making over $1,800 a month, and this one is making over $6,000 a month. So what if I told you there was a tool that allows you to make books exactly like this in just a matter of minutes? Well, that's exactly what I'm going to show you in this video. So this is the tool that I am talking about. It's Self-Publishing Titan's Activity and Puzzle Tools. Now I will leave this linked right at the top of the description if you want to go ahead and check it out. It is a paid tool. It's $149 for lifetime access. So no subscriptions, just a one-time payment, then you have access to this for life. And you need to see this as a return on investment. This is one of the best things you can invest in your KDP business because it will allow you to make so many activity-style books in a matter of seconds, which ultimately these books can then make you a lot more money than the cost of this piece of software. So yeah, I'll leave a link down in the description if you want to go ahead and check it out. So in just a second, I'm going to show you an example of a book that's doing really, really well and how you can recreate something very similar using this tool. But before I do that, I'm just going to show you the different kinds of, activities that you can produce with this tool. As you can see, you've got adding fractions, math pyramids, jigsaw sudokus, you've got addition grids, so loads of maths kind of themed games. And we've got also things like crosswords, word searches, mazes in certain shapes, mazes in certain, letters, mazes in certain shapes, number search, loads of different activities that you can create into a book. So you could either make specifically a maths pyramid book, or you can make an activity book based around maths with maybe some of these, some of these, some of these, and just kind of create pretty much whatever you want to in a matter of clicks. For the example of this video, actually, I'm going to be creating a word search and just show you how easy it is to make a word search using this tool. But before I do that, I'm going to show you an example of a word search that's absolutely killing it on Amazon KDP, just to show how much money you can make from these kinds of books. So as you can see, I've just typed in the keyword TV word search. Now, it's really important when making these kinds of books that a lot of people on Amazon KDP on YouTube don't really talk about. If you can't just make a generic word search book and then expect to make loads of sales, you do need to niche down specifically into certain things. And I have loads of videos on my channel showing you exactly how to do that. But for this example, I've niched down from word searches into a TV themed word search. As you can see here, here's an example, a blast from the past classic TV large print word search. So basically it has 100 different word searches based around like classic TV. I'm guessing from around the 1950s up to the 2000s. So that's kind of the niche that they've chosen. So rather than trying to be really broad and, appealing to as many people as they possibly can, they're appealing to a very specific group of people who are really going to want this book. And that's basically how you succeed on Amazon KDP. As you can see, this book is ranked 6,411 in books. And I'm going to basically show you what this translates to in terms of how much money this book is making. So I've just jumped over to the KDP BSR sales calculator, also by Self-Publishing Titan. So I'll also leave this link down below in the description. And what it essentially allows you to do is take the bestseller rank of any kind of book, and it calculates exactly how many sales it's making. So this book here has a bestseller rank of 6,411. So to go ahead and put that into this calculator and press calculate sales, this book is selling 35 units a day, or just over 1,000 units per month. So that's good. We know how many units it's selling. What does that mean in terms of money? But if you go down this calculator, you can also put in a little bit more information. It's on the Amazon US site. It is black ink. I've just gone into the book listing and it has 131 pages and it's currently listed for $17.97. So this means if this book is selling 35 units a day with this information, it is making $8,620 in passive income every single month. And it is literally just a word search book based around TV shows. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to use this tool to create a similar kind of book and hopefully one that makes you similar kinds of money. Now, it's worth just saying in the example of this video, I'm going to be making a TV word search just because that's the example I've chosen. If you're watching this, please just don't go ahead and copy TV word search. This book here is obviously dominating this niche. It's going to be very, very difficult to outrank that. But what you should take from this video is how to create a word search and then find your own theme of word search that you want to make. I think that's really important for me just to stress in this video. So if I want to make a word search book for Amazon KDP, all I would do is go over to the Self-Publishing Titans tool, click into word search, and then I just have to put a little bit of information about what I want to include in the word search. Now, the first thing I recommend you do is just go all the way to the bottom and then just press generate a sample, and I'll just give you an example of a word search. Now, there's a couple of things we then need to put in to bring our word search to life. The first one is the words to use. It will by default be set to English and kids, and these are basically generic words that it can generate for you. So if you wanted to have just a general English kids word search, here you go. It's just got a load of random words that you can put in. You can do the same for adults. You can do the same for different languages. There's loads of different things. And then if I just press generate a sample here, all of a sudden you've got a load of German words. I have no idea what any of these mean, but I'm just showing you some of the capabilities of this tool. But what I do recommend you do is go into custom word list, and this basically allows you to create whatever kind of word search you want with any words that you choose. Now, before you go ahead and input the words into the word search, you can choose exactly how big you want your board to be. So I'm going to make this book for, adults and seniors. So rather than having a kids one where it might be quite small, let's say a kids one might look something like that, where it's just a lot easier. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. So I'm just going to go for 15 by 15. That seems like a pretty decent size word search. Just press generate sample and see what that looks like. So yeah, that's the kind of size word search that I want to have in here. And another couple of things you want to do before you put your words in. If you don't want to have any kind of swear words or profanity words in, you can select yes here, or you can just keep it as no. It's entirely up to you. And if you go ahead and click into advanced here, one key thing for word searches is the direction of the words. I would always recommend selecting vertical, horizontal, and diagonal only, which basically means you're not going to have any kind of backwards words or looking a bit weird. So that's kind of the main advanced tool that I would use. You can also change the font. So at the moment it's set to Montserrat. You can choose different kinds of fonts. It's entirely up to you. You can customize this literally however much you want to. But once you've done that, you then need to go ahead and put in your words. Now, generally when making a word search with a tool like this is where a lot of your time will be spent, is thinking of different words to include in each different word search. And that's why combining this with ChatGPT puts you at an incredible advantage. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do that now. So it's actually very simple. I just jumped into ChatGPT and said, I want to make a word search based around the theme of TV from the 1950s to 2000. Can you suggest to me 10 categories of word searches that I can include in this book? So every single word search, I want to have a slightly different theme, as long as it's based around this niche of, 1950s to 2000s. And as you can see, it said, really fun idea, TV theme word search covering this. Here are 10 categories you can include, keep it varied and also nostalgic. So the first word search that it suggests is based around classic sitcoms. The next one is then animated shows. Then we have game shows. So it's basically categorized loads of different themes within this overall theme of TV shows. So this is really good, makes life so much easier for us. Literally no thinking having to be done on our side. I've then just said, okay, let's start with crossword one, classic sitcoms. I need 12 words per word search and no more than 12 characters per word. Again, this is entirely up to you how many words you want in your word search. If it's a word search book for kids, maybe you want less words, smaller words, or if it's for an adult, you want maybe 12 words with at least a certain amount of characters. Again, it's entirely up to you how you want this to look. And what this has basically done is now just given us 12 words around the theme of classic sitcoms within TVs between 1950 and 2000. So all you want to do is go in and copy all of these different words and then just paste them into self-publishing titles. If you go all the way up here, go into the word section and then just paste these. Doesn't matter if there's a gap in between, that's absolutely fine. Just one thing to bear in mind is it might paste them through as different words, as obviously in word searches, there is no such thing as a space, it's all just letters. So if there's two kind of words here, just go ahead and remove the space in between, and then happy days will just pull through as one individual word and it won't mess up the word search. So that's just the first thing and the only thing you really need to look out for when you're copy and pasting from ChatGPT. Just go all the way to the bottom then, and then just press generate a sample. And as you can see, all of our words have been pulled into this word search. If we just go ahead and press the solution button, you can see here, all of our different words now appear in this word search and they appear down here below. Now it's entirely up to you how you want this to look in terms of the end result. Some people want to just download this literally as it is and then just put that into their book. I personally like to just have this in my KDP book, and then in the Canva file, which I put this into, I'll automatically put in the words underneath just to make it a little bit more attractive and better looking. But again, it's entirely up to you how to do that. I'll show you in just a sec how I would personally do it. But all you need to do then to export this is scroll all the way down and then just go ahead and press generate collection. So that will then take you to this page. Now what you want to do is just change the DPI to 300. What that's basically going to do is increase the quality of the board that gets downloaded. Then just go ahead and press download, and that's going to download both the board file and the solution file that you can go ahead and put straight into Canva. So here's this exact file that I've just downloaded from Self-Publishing Titans. Now, what a lot of people would do is to just go in and make this a little bit bigger and then just drop this in as word search one for their word search. Now, of course you can do that, but just remember, this looks a lot less professional than what you could potentially make it. I'm going to show you how to make it look a lot more professional in just a second. And when you're thinking that other people are potentially doing this, creating a much better visually looking word search is a way to massively stand out from all of your competition and get people to buy your word search book rather than someone else's. So pay really close attention to exactly what I personally do when I make my word searches. So the first thing I actually do is get rid of these words at the bottom, because in Canva, when you're using custom text, you can actually make it look a lot more visually appealing and more attractive to a potential customer. So I'm going to get rid of that. And that just leaves us with the word search. Now, the next thing I would do is go in and add a nice border and pattern behind this, again, just to make it look a lot more visually appealing. So I'll just go into shapes, put in a square here, pull this all the way up roughly to the top corner, and then just pull it down again, just so it fills up the majority of the page. I would obviously be a little bit more specific if I'm actually doing this and uploading this book to Amazon KDP. I'll then go ahead and just make this white, and then just give myself a nice border, not too thick, and then just give it a little bit of rounding at the top if I want to. Actually, for this example, I'm just going to keep it as a square. Then just move this backwards a little bit. And so now I have my actual word search within some kind of frame that just makes it look a lot better. Alternatively, what you can do is just pull your word search all the way up to the top like that, and then all the way there, just so there's no kind of white space between the word search box and then also kind of your border box. And then you can bring this further forward and then just change the white color to transparent. And then basically your word search will sit just like that. It's entirely up to you how you want it to look. Again, complete personal preference. I actually quite like having it like this and a little bit of separation. And then I want to go in and add a background. So I'm just going to go over to Elements and just type in TV pattern and just see what comes up if I type this into Canva. Let's have a look. As you can see, there's this one here. I quite like this one. This is going to look really good for our kind of like retro theme. Move this further backwards and then just copy and paste this across just so it goes all the way to the side of the page. As you can see, this actually turns out to be a pattern. So all these different designs actually end up linking up. So again, send this backwards and then do the same for this. I'm actually using Command and then kind of the bracket. But if you want to do it manually, just press these three dots and then just go to Layer and then just set Send to Back. And it will show you also the shortcut for doing it. So send that backwards. And now here is the start of our kind of pattern behind our book. I'm going to go ahead and press Group and then just copy and paste this again. Bring this all the way down just so the patterns kind of line up and there's no kind of white gaps in between. Again, send all of these to the back. Take this, these two again, copy and paste both of these, line them up again exactly as we did before, highlight them, and then both send these to the back. So as you can see now, we have a little bit of a TV theme background to our book, which just looks so much better than just copy and pasting and just dragging and dropping this straight into a Canva file. So now what we want to do is go ahead and put some words in. So just go back into text, drop in a text box. And if you remember within the file that we downloaded from Self-Publishing Titans, we use the Montserrat font. So go in and put Montserrat just so everything is consistent. And then we'll just change this to capital letters. So example 1. And then obviously this is a lot bolder looking than these ones. So just go ahead, get rid of the bold and then just make this a lot smaller. So it's the same size as a lot of that text, just so everything now is exactly the same as it kind of appears in the actual word search itself. Make this a little bit smaller and there you go. That's exactly what we want. So I actually think this needs to be a little bit bolder actually. So if we click into Montserrat, it defaulted to regular. Let's go to Montserrat medium. And that's exactly the same as the letters that we have in our actual file. So now all we need to do is go in and put the words at the bottom of this word search. So I'll go back into ChatGPT and take all of these individual words, and normally they are in alphabetical order. I personally like having these all in alphabetical order. So I'm just going to say, can you sort this list in alphabetical order? Just do that. I don't know why I'm in caps. I forgot to turn that one off. And then it will just sort everything in alphabetical order. Then just go ahead and copy and paste these. These will now all be in alphabetical order. Go back into your word search and just copy and paste everything into one box. And now what you're probably going to see here is they come through by default as having bullet points. Just highlight everything, press this list button here in Canva, and then change it until it gets rid of both the numbers and also the bullet points. Now I'm personally going to arrange these into 4 individual columns of 3 words. 4 times 3 is 12. That's how many words that we've got. So all I'm going to do is pull this up a little bit more. We might need to make this font actually a little bit smaller, but let's just see how it looks. So we're going to take the first 3 and leave them as they are. Go ahead and cut and paste these. Go for our next box and then put these in. Again, leave the first 3 and take the others. And then do the same with the final box. Now we actually are going to have to make this text a little bit smaller. Absolutely no problem. Just highlight all of these boxes and then just reduce the text. Let's just put it down to 18 and see what difference that makes. And that should easily be enough. So let's pull this across, pull this one across, and then this one can go ahead and drop in there. So there's all of our different columns. It just looks a little bit neater than the default one from Self-Publishing Titans. But again, it's entirely up to you. It's entirely personal preference. You can increase the width or the space between each individual line by increasing the line spacing. I'll leave that entirely up to you how you want that to look. One thing just worth mentioning here, sometimes it will pull words through in capitals. For MASH, let's go ahead and just change that to normal typography. And then if you want to, you can put some kind of message at the bottom here. Or what you can do is take all of these, take also the actual word search itself, pull these down a little bit, and then just put a title on top of each word search page. So this TV word search, I can't remember exactly what this was, classic sitcoms. So classic sitcoms. Make this a lot bigger just so it makes it look a lot more visually appealing. Classic sitcoms. We'll stick this in the middle and then we'll make this bold as well. So there you go. Here's your first word search. Classic sitcoms. You've got your words here. You've got your border here. It's entirely up to you how you want this to look. That's why I recommend using Canva. You can create it in whatever style you want to. And then that is your first word search done. Simply rinse and repeat this process until you have all of your word searches. I would recommend for a word search book, have at least 50. If you can get to 100, then that's even better, but it's entirely up to you how you want it to look. But that is how you can use Self-Publishing Titan's activity tool to create a word search extremely quickly. So this example has taken a little bit more time because I've taken a bit of care with how I actually want it to look within Canva. If you literally just wanted to create these as quickly as you possibly could, you can literally just drag and drop the templates straight from Self-Publishing Titan's activity tool into Canva, do that 100 times, and then you've got 100 word searches. But I personally recommend taking a little bit more time and just making your Canva file look a bit more visually appealing. Then when it comes to doing the next one, simply just go ahead and duplicate the page. You haven't got to do this every single time. You just go ahead, drag and drop the next one in, and just keep repeating that process. And then when it comes to the solutions, all you want to do is go ahead and delete these boards. Also go and delete these words as well at the bottom. Go back into your upload files and then just drag and drop in the solution. I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of these again. And then here is your solution page. Now, if you're doing solutions, I recommend getting as many different solutions on the same page as possible. So you could have maybe one solution here, you could have the next one here, just so you're not using up loads of pages just for solutions. You could easily get 6 of these onto one individual page. So that's how I recommend doing the solutions too, because the less pages you have in your book, the higher the royalty and the margin you get when it actually makes a sale. So again, I'm sick of saying it, but it's entirely up to you exactly how you want this to look. I'm just giving you lots of different options that you can use. Now, of course, making the word search book is one thing, but you need to make sure, as I mentioned at the start of the video, that you're only making word search books that you know actually sell. So if you click the video on screen, I'll show you exactly how to do that within any niche on Amazon KDP.